Do I look really gorgeous in the camera?
Sometimes I feel like crying.
Yeah.
I don't actually.
Sometimes I do.
Girls, why don't you
I
just
think-
fucking cry?
I think that emotion's actually been wiped out.
I was
now.
outside this morning and I just felt like crying. I didn't cry.
It's
but I
good
felt
to let it out.
Yeah.
Hey babies, welcome back to another episode. I am LaBelle.
I am a winner.
And I am Dee Desperate.
And we are Chicken Dinner. No,
yeah.
we are
The girls! We're back again, honeys.
The girls.
We're here.
The
girls.
Hey. The girls.
Oh, we're like at least 5
The
porn star
girls.
martinis down by this
Oh,
time.
babe, let's go.
It's the only way to keep our deluded brains.
A serious,
of course.
a serious thing that just run through my brain. Sorry to
Go on.
really take it off topic of what we're speaking about today.
Go on.
But do we make a TikTok trend of the dance to the girls? Should we make something really fit?
Oh, here we go. Manager.
Because all of our dances would be completely different.
Yeah, it'd be
I'm
awful.
doing
That's not
10,000
happening.
jump splits or jazz splits or whatever split I can do.
Whatever gets her the
You're
check.
doing rah, 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 boom, boom, boom. And Crystal standing there looking
No,
into a ring light.
Chris was trying to find a
Yeah.
light.
She's trying to find light. Oh, so
Very
girly.
that, very
what
that.
What are we chatting today?
What a week, girl. Where have you been all week?
All week.
All week.
All week.
What have you been doing all week, Dee Dee?
I've been.
What do you do?
You've just done DragCon. How was
successfully,
it?
quickly.
You've just done DragCon. How
Yeah,
was it,
I've
girl?
just been to LA and New York. I'm in New York right now, actually. No, but I think by the time this one comes out, America's done.
Hopefully she's been ploughed by New York.
Hopefully I haven't
Yeah.
died.
Fingers crossed.
Hopefully my luggage ain't been lost. Hopefully I haven't been lost.
I hope you
probably
are.
will
I hope
be.
you have.
And hopefully I've had a lovely time and not been deported for some reason.
Oh, well, let's hope.
But today,
The
we're,
topic is...
Are we bringing it back?
we're bringing it back.
We're going to bring it back to our childhood.
Bring it
Oh, here we
back.
go.
I think we need to start speaking about our childhood traumas. I
What
feel
made us these fierce divas?
Exactly. I feel like a lot of people think that we are obviously just glamorous glamazons, and they don't really know that we also relate to a lot of people in the sense that if you're gay, we've also grown up similar to you. And I feel like we should bring
Yeah.
it back and kind of
Yeah.
talk about
Well, just
our
the
traumas.
the
We
roots.
should.
'Cause I
The
feel
roots,
like
darling.
We've discussed bits of our
Hated
childhood. It's fine, sweetie. We've discussed part of our like childhood and blah 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 on the pod before. But LaBelle, you're a whole unknown mystery to be
Oh, I am
unraveled.
the unknown, honey.
Because I actually don't feel like I know too much about your upbringings and childhood.
Well, you know as much as I want to tell you. 'Cause
You're a very secretive person about your life.
Yeah,
you are.
I am.
Unless it's like big events and stuff like that, or your career.
I'm like, for me, it's like, I feel like I guess you both relate in the sense that like, we all speak to each other about our like upbringings and
Yeah.
what was our like traumatizing
Yeah.
moments in our life. But I think it's really hard because obviously a lot of gays kind of just close that chapter in their life and kind of just leave it. And then once you
For
kind
sure.
of get into your own, when you start to, I mean, it's so hard. It's like so hard to explain. But like even when just before I turned 18, I've never really had gay friends. I've never been with a guy. I've never had any of that. So as soon as I kind of did that, left my hometown, moved out, it's kind of when I started my life.
That's when you feel like your life started. Yeah,
Yeah.
I get
It's like,
that.
it's really hard because I feel like I closed that book on my childhood and kind of just neglected it. And it's like really bad because a lot of people do say like, oh, remember where you came from. I remember where I came from and I worked really hard to be who I am now.
Yeah.
So when I touch back on what traumatized me, I find it really hard.
Yeah, that's normal though. That's what makes, an artist. That's what makes
Yeah.
someone who loves what they do. It's like you have to come from something where like you didn't belong, and then make where you're meant to be,
Yeah. But
create that.
I also think it's important to like face your past trauma.
Of course.
'Cause
Yes.
If you leave it lingering, it will only constantly affect you.
No, of course.
Yeah.
Even subconsciously, like it always comes back to you.
Yeah, no,
True.
of course.
But wait, I'm sorry. We've started this like this should have been in black and white because the way trauma has been brought up at least 20,000 times. Girl, I had a lovely upbringing. Obviously, I had my issues as everyone does.
Oh, babe, Dee Dee and a Silver Spoon. That's our new book.
No, I didn't have a silver spoon, but I feel like you had a bit of a silver spoon too.
We were very lucky.
Yours was a bit more of a like serrated edges. Silver
Yeah,
spoon.
but we were very
it was
lucky
still a
being
silver
brought up.
spoon.
We were.
Yeah.
We were given great families.
Yeah, we are very lucky.
Even though like we had our
Yeah, of
you know,
course. Well,
like I had
everyone-
my
Yeah.
twists and turns with getting around with my family about
Yes.
becoming a drag queen. You know, that's its own thing in itself. But you know, we've all had to
Yeah, trauma to
do our
triumph,
thing.
honey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree. I'm like, obviously, just a tad bit older than you girls.
You are
So
an
I feel like-
inch.
I always forget. You know.
I'm just enough to be your mum. I'm
No,
old enough
you're
to be
not.
your mum.
You're like my older brother. Oh, sister.
Ooh.
Episode 1. Thank you all for coming out.
done it now. You dug the
That's
whole
now
bag.
that's now part of LaBelle's trauma.
I'm gonna let you
yeah.
deal with that one.
Okay, I think I'm gonna have to. Let
I'm
her-
out of that one.
Yeah, I'm
I'm out of that.
I'm a bit defenseless right now. I won't lie.
Didi misgenders again.
I don't know. I feel like it's really hard. Obviously, I to be fair, I'll give it to my mum and dad. I've got a really big family.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've got 3 sisters and 2 brothers. So there's 6 of us.
Yeah,
all
that's a
together.
lot.
And it kind of like back to back. So like there's not really big age gaps in between us
Yeah.
all. So it's kind of like I've always been brought up with a really big family. And like my mum and dad obviously did the like most they could ever do. But like I'm not like a silver spoon girly. I'm like a council estate benefit baddie. Like
Benefit baddie. I love that.
but I am. So it's kind
Yeah.
of just like I've been brought up in the council estate. My high school was absolutely atrocious. When I went to high school, they were changing over to be an academy, and this changeover took years.
What does that mean?
I can't really explain what academy is, but it
Yeah.
basically means they've got their own rules. It's
Okay,
kind of what I'm
right.
sensing. I'm like, you know how like you girls went to school and it
Yeah.
was like 8:30 till 3.
Yeah.
I was doing, I would do like 8 till 2:30, and then the next day I'll be at 2:30 till 5 p.m.
Really?
Yeah, so like my school was really like different time
And
zones.
that was like secondary school.
Yeah, high school, sorry. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, my school was really weird. So like we got away with a lot. We were like the guinea pigs of our school. What means we were they were called pods, and we had 90 students in a classroom with 3 teachers. And there was like I can't even explain it. It's buck wild, but like the school was like it never run smooth, and
Right.
nothing ever happened. It was hooligan central, and like this is when I was like a naughty kid. Like mama, I did.
Oh, were you a
I
naughty
did-
kid?
Well, I kind of was. My friends were like the chavvy girls.
I
so
see
like,
that somehow.
so like, if anyone kind of gave me drama, honey. Fucking
Yeah, they'd taste the
Stacey
doll.
Stacey
They'd
and the
taste the
other
girl.
ones are gonna get their
Shanice.
pink lipstick out and like get their Paul's Petite bags and start
Pink
but
lipstick.
they
Immediately
were,
thought of the other thing.
but they
Moving
were,
on swiftly there.
but they were very much like Paul's Petite
If
Gillet.
they fuck with me, my girls would get all their pink lipsticks out.
Yeah, but they used to. They're like
Sure.
My girls. Like,
No, women are dogs.
no, but like they'd put on their lipstick, get their Paul's Petite bag and their gillets, and they'd like go up to her and
Gillets?
fight her.
What?
With gilets.
What the fuck is going on?
You know the puffers were like no arms.
Right, okay.
Oh, gilet.
A gilet.
Yeah.
But like,
Gilet.
was you there around that time?
yeah.
And do you remember the awful Paul's Petite coats, like the navy blue ones, like kind
Yeah.
of puffy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like that was my high school. So like they always just used to fight the people who used to give me any hate. What was like
Yes.
obviously nice.
That's
but
good.
I kind of was like, I had another gay person in my school who was like kind of a popular boy, so we never really got as much hate as other people. So I was kind of lucky being a gay kid, in the sense that I kind of just did my own thing. I went to dance school from a very young age, and kind of didn't. I'd obviously get like shouted at in the streets by like,
Yeah.
men in vans, but
Yes,
like
yeah.
in school it wasn't too bad until I got forced to come out as gay.
How?
I actually hate the story. It's
Okay.
like quite
Really?
bad. So basically, back in the day, I used to smoke a lot, like cigarettes and other stuff.
Right.
Yeah, and no, not that stuff.
That explains a lot.
And I used to just hang out with a lot of boys. I always have, like, just because I've smoked
Yeah.
the flowers. Everyone's kind of just like, hung out with me because I've always just been a chill person.
Yeah.
So like one night I used to hang out with this person in my school. We used to get stoned in like a bus stop, And it used to rain. We used to just be there. We used to like cuddle and like it used to be fine. Anyway, this guy used to be really close to me. Like I used to really like him, but like it was never like sexual or anything. It was just more like cuddles. I didn't think anything of it. And I remember, did you ever have Kik?
Oh, I know what Kik is. Yeah.
Did you ever have Kik? Do you know what Kik is?
No.
So it's kind of like WhatsApp now.
Right.
But like it's where you can speak to anyone around the world for
Yeah.
free. So I used to have Kik, and I believe I used to speak to him on that. And I basically just told him how I felt about him one night. I think I went home after this bus stop experience where we were like cuddling.
And he's straight.
And it was like really intense. Like the vibes would go like vibing. As when you were a kid. Like
She got finger blasted.
yeah.
Yeah. She's got law.
And I just remember us talking. I told him my feelings, and he told me he felt the exact same. And I was like, "Oh, okay. Well,
Cunt.
this
That's fierce.
there's something
Oh, he
going on."
did?
Yeah, he did.
That's fierce.
God.
Then we sent nudes to
Was
each
he
other.
fair?
This is where he was alright.
No, yeah.
Back in the time, it was
at
like,
the
it was a
time,
boy.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then we sent nudes to each other. Blah 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 blah. Bear in mind, this is like year 10.
Right.
Next day, I go into school. He has gone round my whole school. Bear in mind, there's fucking thousands of people in the school. He's deleted the message. You could unsend messages. So he unsent all his messages, screenshotted it, and shared it around the whole school.
You shared your nudes.
No, not my nudes.
Oh my god.
Oh my god,
Me
you have
confessing
me.
my
Yeah.
love to him.
Right.
And all that. I literally walked into school. I'm getting shouted homophobic abuse. I'm getting shouted. How can you like? I was getting like people hated me.
What?
My whole girl friendship group disowned me. Stopped talking to me.
Shut the fuck
Yeah.
up.
And I'm like, this is crazy. This boy has lied and made this a thing to the point where like he got the police involved. Like I had to speak to my head teacher because everyone was saying I was making this big lie up. It was crazy. But the thing is with this Kik app, my messages weren't deleted. So when I showed it to her
Right.
and said he's lying, and I had to like back my story up because it was so fucked. And I came out as bisexual.
I feel like, yeah.
Because I was
That's
so
where you begin.
Remember, yeah.
yeah, like that's where you obviously begin. But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was so like, I'm gonna have to come out as bi because I have to stand my ground.
Yeah.
And like I said this thing. Like obviously I'm queer anyway, so everyone knows I'm gay.
Yeah.
It was so much like we know you're gay, but you've obviously not come out.
Yeah.
And this guy really just like shat on me. My whole school hated me. Like people made up this thing that I'm like going around trying to like I'm trying to talk to straight people and they're not giving it back and I'm
Right.
like making the most.
Yeah.
And I was like, he did that to me. He manipulated me and like sent me all this and like used to hang out with me in bus stops, cuddling me, like making me feel like
Yeah.
I'm special. And as soon as I said my feelings to this guy, he made me like the scum of the school.
I'm like,
That's very school though.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did he
people-
actually feel that way, or do you reckon he just? Wait, no, he sent you pictures.
He sent me pictures.
Wait, so
Yeah,
it was
girl.
probably his own, and this is what a lot of the people who do stuff like this to other gay or queer
Yeah.
kids in school, it's out of insecurity because he's obviously let someone know.
I think he's
now
I was
let
gonna tell
someone know
someone.
and fully let it out to
Yeah.
someone. He's probably then gone into panic mode.
Yeah.
Like no,
Yeah.
and
Well, yeah.
then used it. Again, because I think you were talking to someone. It wasn't anywhere near
Yeah.
that. Not as severe. Not nearly.
But it
as
was like,
severe.
he was just, yeah.
Yeah, but they deflect and they're like to
Yeah.
save their own skin, but they don't even need to save their own. I mean,
No.
obviously, you don't know that when you're that age.
Yeah.
You know, that's not something you know that it's okay, especially, you know, around that time, I guess. But
It's hard being a gay kid though because I had a lot of girlfriends when I was young, and they all get to live their life from being like 13, getting fingered in a park, blah de blah de blah,
Yeah, literally.
drinking Foster's Jacks, all that.
Yeah.
We don't get any of that. So as soon as we turn 18 and go to a gay club, that's when we're having our 13-year-old stage.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it's different of why we grow up. Like when our friends get married, we're at Sweatbox getting fierce because it's like we're now learning who we are.
That's
as
what I felt
individuals.
like, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
And I feel like
exactly-
when my
yeah.
friends are getting married and having kids, I'm like, oh well, good for you.
Yeah.
You're my age,
But
and
I've
I still
just
feel really
started.
young, and I feel like I've not started my life.
Yeah, I
Because
get
I've
that.
not seen.
I think that's very queer though, because it is
Yeah.
like you don't get to live your life in school.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that's for anyone, even if they look like they do, they don't.
but to truly be liberated and be a part of
We
a queer
didn't, yeah.
community.
Yeah.
Well, no, me and her, literally did nothing with anyone until we were at least like anything serious until we were at least like 18, 19.
Yeah.
That sort of age.
Yeah.
Well,
18,
no, not even that. 20,
19,
like 19, 20.
19,
Yeah.
yeah.
19, 20, 21ish. Like,
8, yeah.
anyway, I can't really remember, but it's just in school, personally for us, it was just not a thing. We, talk to boys here and there, but it would never go anywhere because everyone's scared, and
Yeah.
we're even scared to like go out there
Yeah.
and do stuff with people, whatever. I remember I had a really big fat crush on someone in our friendship group who
Yeah.
claimed he was bi, and I was literally obsessed over this boy. And like some girl got with him at his birthday party, and then I acted really depressed about it. She came up to me, she was like, "Oh, I didn't realize like you had those feelings." I was like, "No, it's fine, whatever." Then caused her to have a meltdown, and then be like, "I can't get with you anymore," and manipulating the system.
I think where I brought up with like a lot of girls, and the boys there always used me as a guinea pig. Always.
Well, yeah.
I was a guinea pig boy, and I was a very guinea pig gay, where to the point that boys used to do a lot, like when they used to get drunk, like even when I was like 16, 17, I knew people who had girlfriends and they would DM me on Snapchat, or like ask me to come round, or
Yeah,
like,
so
I
you
used
never
to go,
had
No,
that.
we
I
never
used-
had that.
So I used to go to
No.
I used to go to the clubs in Hastings, and like the fit boys who are like 2 years older than me used to like ask me to go around theirs, or like see me in like one of the dirty clubs. One night there's this really fit guy, and he was like 2 years older than me, and he used to date my friend, not my friend, not in my friend group, but like one of my friends around my block. And he was like gorge guy, whatever. We went to this like bar where like it's like silent disco. Anyway, all doing that. I went to the toilet. He's come in. He's launched me across the wall, picked me up, ferociously got with me. This straight guy, bearing in mind,
Yeah.
who's like straight as hell,
Right.
did that, and he's like all over me. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe this. Like, what? And then we went to the next bar, and he's like invited me back to his house. So then me and all my friends have gone back to his house, and he's like really like trying not to make it like anything because all my friends are there. So I kind of just left.
Well, if you're the
I was
obviously,
like the tester.
well, that's the thing. If you're the obvious one, the one who like you
Yeah,
know
they
for a
go to.
fact they're gay, of course you're going to be the guinea pig because
Yeah.
they know they're probably not going to get like a no or whatever, or like there's not as much of a risk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had
But
like
we
a-
were obvious as hell.
Yeah.
But
I think
Well,
you two were quite feminine though.
Yeah,
I think
we
I was.
were.
I was
Yeah,
I was,
we
I
were
was
like
gay.
that, obvious.
I was like this.
I was like the gay kid, and she was like my fat lesbian friend.
Yeah.
Like she was.
It always says that I was not a gay man
Like, we could
until
find a
I got to
photo.
college.
Yeah, you didn't get bullied. I did.
Yeah, because I kept my mouth shut. Very
Yeah, I
surprising,
did.
actually, because I was the more funny looking one.
Yeah, but I was the one who like bring it to like
The ball.
I asked for that energy.
But you
You
like
did, you were about
from
it.
like a young age. You were wearing makeup. You
Yeah.
were doing like the
thing
femme
is, that's the
stuff.
thing is that I've always been like very rebellious, very like I know what's right. This is
Yeah.
what I want to do. I will do it, and I won't
Yeah.
listen to what you've got to say. Because I used to get like pulled up in class because I had my eyebrows on. I used to draw my eyebrows every time for school, and I'd put on. I remember I had a Jeffree Star highlighter,
Work.
like the big one.
Yeah, the
Skip
pink.
Frost.
It was
The
the,
big,
pink one.
yeah,
Frost.
and it was a pink. I had that, and I got it for Christmas, and I was gagged, and I used to wear it every day. I used to fucking get a brush in there and
Oh, but
I look like a mirror every time I go to
Yeah.
school. And I remember being in class and I'd be like brought out because of my makeup, and I'd be like, well, this bitch looks like an Oompa Loompa. Why am I getting brought
Yeah.
out?
Dream Atmos, honey.
Honey, it's just not gonna work. So I remember getting pulled up in assembly.
so many
Really?
times.
I was
So
in assembly
many
once.
times.
I was in assembly once because we were in a Christian school. We both went to the same school together, by the way.
Yeah, we were the same school.
And we were in assembly, and I got asked to be taken out because they were like, "You've got rings on. Like, we need to like." They were like, "Come on, come out," and I was like, "No, I'm not going anywhere. You're not going to take my rings off me. I'm going to stand here and I'm going to watch the assembly like everyone else." And they were like, "No, can we need to talk to you outside?" And I stood up. I went, "Babe, you're not going to take my rings off me." I went, "Look at her. She's in full face of makeup. Just because I'm a boy doesn't mean that she's got her earrings on. She's got her little pearls on. I've got one silver ring on, and you're going to try and come for me. It's not going to happen."
Yeah, it's
and I stood up in assembly. I went, "You're not taking my rings off me. If you're going to take my rings, go around all the girls and do the same thing to them, because I'm not doing it." And that's when I started standing up for myself. But I was the only one who was standing up for myself. Like, no one else, even if they were gay in our school, they weren't the ones speaking out. But I was the only one. So I always just get in trouble. I was in isolation. I was always going after schools. because I just wouldn't put up with it. I was like, no, you're wrong.
Yeah.
You think you're right, but you're wrong.
For me, it was just like I obviously didn't like the way I looked, and there was a lot of insecurities that I just could never stand up to anyone or do anything, and I naturally as a person don't love. Well, no one loves confrontation.
Yeah.
But I don't really like.
See, I was
especially
always
back then.
like,
I was not confrontational.
I was always ready. I was like, okay, here we go.
Well, you had to be on defense.
Yeah.
Because you lived a way that you put yourself out there like.
But I was
like,
always just me. That's the thing.
extravagantly.
Like since I was a
Yeah.
kid, I was always like, oh, there's makeup. I'm gonna wear it.
Yeah.
Like I was
Yeah.
always like, I know what I want and I'm gonna do it. I never saw like the, oh, this is bad because you're a boy. I just was like, well, I'm gonna do it. And that's
Yeah.
when like being in a Christian
Yeah.
school, that was like, ooh, I stuck out like a sore thumb.
To be fair,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
really good though, because like I was so scared to do any of that. I remember like I used to like do makeup in my room. I never like could go to school in it. I was very much
Yeah.
like I was very much the boy who used to put my friends in makeup and do their hair.
Oh, like try it out on them first.
Like,
Like they're your little
I would
Barbie
paint
dolls.
them and put their extensions in and straighten their hair. That was more me because I couldn't do it on me. So it's like
Yeah,
I
I
had
did
to
that
kind
for
of be
prom.
like a boy.
Yeah.
To get right and like if I kind of looked femme, it was kind of like, well, you're a batty boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
get
I
that.
couldn't do that.
I wasn't even like, there was nothing about me that was masked, like my appearance. I think I didn't really have an interest in like makeup because I started off with filling in my eyebrows. And I get
Yeah.
her to fill in my eyebrows because I wanted to look a bit more butch because as you said, I did look like a lesbian.
So you asked to be filled in with your eyebrows.
Yeah.
That makes you more butch. Okay.
No, but like that's what I thought. it
Yeah.
did. But I always used to be obsessed with like girls' hair. I remember
Yeah.
I'd always
Yeah.
like pay attention to a girl's hair and I'd always be obsessed with that.
Was you ever bullied?
No.
Was you ever did you ever deal with?
Actually, I've talked about this. Oh no, I haven't. I had a friendship group outside of school, in like
yeah.
the village. I wasn't treated the best with them, but it was the same thing. I was the punch bag stress.
Yeah.
Did
ball
anyone ever, like-
because people just found it easy to take their problems out
Yeah.
on me. So unfortunately, with my friendship group outside of it, I just got a lot of that. So like to be fair, through school, I did get a lot of that.
Yeah,
I
you
got a
didn't-
lot of people throwing their shit on
But
me.
it was never like gay abuse.
No.
I
Did you
know
ever-
I didn't get. There was only one time where I must have told one of my girlfriends like I sent news to a boy for the first time, and I got off the bus and there was a little benches
Right.
that all the boys would sit
Yeah.
by and the girls I would hang out with, and I rolled up and they called me over. I was like hi, and then they obviously one of them kind of like brought it up like, oh, you love sending like pictures, don't you? Da, da, da. And I was like, what? And then they're all like laughing, like chuckling to themselves, and I'm like, what? Like I don't get. And then
I was the one laughing.
no, you weren't there. You weren't there, honey. Oh yeah, you'd be laughing, but then they'd immediately turn to you. You'd be like, oh,
I was like, yeah, faggot maggot.
oh, wait a damn minute. You want to talk about
bullied.
mothers?
I was bullied. I was bullied a lot. But the thing is, I kind of got on with it because I remember like, what I remember of it, I remember being on the bus and I remember having things thrown at me. I remember that being a big thing.
Yeah.
But I remember this one guy, he was like always trying to bully me with his friends. And I remember like walking to school because we'd get off the bus stop to go to school and we'd have to walk like 10 minutes to get into the gates.
Okay.
And I remember like either there or the way back when the day's finished, I used to get like tripped up, like they would try and kick my legs or something like that.
God.
So I used to have all that. And I remember being on the bus and they'd throw half like big, you remember the big Evian water bottles?
Yeah.
They'd try and throw them at me.
Oh my God.
And I remember like being hit once. The one time I got hit and they got their aim right, I saw red. I got up.
I was there for this.
I got up and went,
It's crazy.
okay, right, I've had enough is enough. I went up and I got the boy, I slammed him with his neck against the pillow, the seat of the bus, and I just kept going. I kept going for about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I don't remember it. She was there. I beat him up. Like I beat him red and raw. And I said, right, enough is enough. If you wanna go, let's go man to man.
Yeah.
And I did.
And yeah,
And then she was there trying to pull me off of him. All these people around
Yeah.
trying to pull me off, and I weren't budging. I
At
went,
first,
babe, if you want to feel the wrath,
At first, I was
you've-
like Mean Girls.
you've
Mum,
triggered me now.
At the front,
Yeah.
like living for it.
But I remember
then
you trying to get me off.
But no, you genuinely were not stopping.
No.
But I think that was just pent up.
Oh, I was ready
That
to
was
go.
that was a
Built up.
load of pent up. because it was constant. It was the boys at the back,
Yeah.
who think they're everything, think they're all this and all that.
Yeah.
And they would be the ones, you know, throwing out the insults because we're the younger, you know, with the.
But it was happening for a long time, and
Yeah,
I
it
never
was.
really. I stood up for myself, but I didn't like. I was always taught to like, don't pay it no mind. That's what
Yeah.
they want. But
Yeah.
I was like, right, if this is really what you want, well, honey, you're gonna get
Let's
it.
go.
I remember like going downstairs, and I remember like suddenly coming back to myself and apologizing to the bus driver. I was like, I'm sorry, this has happened, but you know, he is a cunt. And he ran off the bus crying, and he never spoke to me again.
Well,
I mean,
it's
fair
very, it's
enough.
talk shit, get hit. Like,
mean,
you got to learn.
Yeah,
one way
babe. If
or
you want to
another.
learn the hard way, if you want to feel it, like what you're asking for, let's go.
Yeah, you can't give all that mouth and
Yeah.
not expect anything back.
But I was
That's
also
life.
brought up to be like, you know, as I said, don't pay it any mind. But also, my dad's half of the family were like, they used to say to
Yeah.
me, my nan, when she was bringing me up, my nan was like one of the biggest role models in my life. She used to go, right, if it gets to that, you go, do you want to pop to the hospital or do you want sudden death? What do you want?
Fierce.
that's what she used to say to me. She went, you
Love.
got to give them an option. So I did.
I've never had a fight, and I never want to physically fight.
No.
ever.
It's
That's
not good
like
to
not
fight.
in my genre.
Yeah.
Of LaBelle. I
Yeah,
just would never
course.
fight. I think where I was like, I am the gay boy. Like, I am. I'm the odd one out. I've always been the odd one out.
Yeah.
Like, I used to get, like, my teachers used to ask, like, you know, when you go around school and you kind of like, what do you want to be when you're older? I used to always just I always used to be like, I want to be a star. Like, I want to be a dancer. I want to
Fair.
do this. Because also I used to train dance. And
Yeah.
like, I always knew I wanted to be on stage and do this and that. So, like, when I used to say that, I used to get they always used to just laugh and be like, well, you dream in a bubble. Like, no one from this small
Really?
village goes anywhere. And it was very like, no one from my area was anything
No.
ever.
Yeah.
Like, the most we got is someone from Go on EastEnders as a backing character. Like, it was never like, you don't become a star where
No.
I live.
Yeah.
And it was very much like, everyone knows everyone's business. No one has any, like, secrets in the whole village. So it was very much like, everyone just knew me as the gay boy who used to dance, and I used to dream big, and everyone used to, like, laugh at me. So I used to just live in a bubble.
Although you guys got, gay shamed, whatever. Cute. Baby, you ever been fat shamed? So let's get into that.
Well, rewind 2 episodes again, thank you.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, sorry.
No, because I was a bigger kid. Like I was quite large, not very in charge.
You were chunky funky.
Yeah, definitely funky. So I had like multiple occasions where teachers would like comment on it, or like that was always the thing with me. That was the biggest thing people take the piss out of was my weight. So I went for dinner with my mum literally the other day, and she told me that one time in secondary school they sent her a letter. They sent my parents a letter going because it was after we did some sort of PE test, or they did something to check our health, and basically being like, just so you're aware, your child's overweight, so you're gonna need to monitor that, darling.
Fierce.
Yeah, literally, and I howled. I started laughing out loud because I was like, "Oh my god!" Because on top of everything else, so one time we used to do this cross country run across the fields for a day, and I'm just like running, doing my thing, trying to get it moving, whatever. And I run by one of the teachers at the checkpoint, and the teacher, as I go by, goes, "Go on, move all of that." I was like literally running away, like, "Oh!" While my moves are literally slapping me in the face. And the other time was we were at art, and we sometimes stay after school for art. And the teacher bought some like brownies and like had them out, and everyone's going up and getting one. I haven't got one yet. Very that.
Very
And
that.
I got up to go. I waddled over to go get one. And
She picked herself up.
yeah, it took me 5 minutes to get out the store. And then I got there, and I went to go reach one, and she went, don't you think you've had enough of them already? I hadn't had one. I had not had one. This woman had looked at me, profiled me, and went, "Oh, greedy bugger, let's get him away." And then, yeah, like it happened
So
all the
fierce.
time. And it makes me, that letter to my parents saying, "You need to watch your child's weight," was the cherry
Not them
on top.
fat shaming you.
But I wasn't really aware at the time. We have
Yeah.
that joke
Yeah.
where Crystal pretty much went up to me and went, "I want that one,"
Okay.
and I'm just like non-verbal, and I just
yeah,
went, and then
I
we
walked
became
into
best
school one
friends.
day. I don't know how we became friends.
Yeah, this.
But I literally walked in and I just went, I want her.
No, she
And she's there like,
literally. Like,
I mean, I'll have her.
yeah,
She'll
it's
do.
like, I'll have that one.
She'll do.
She did. She
She looks like a camp time.
Yeah, like she looks like.
I could bully that one.
She looks
Come
like
on.
someone
I
I
can let
can
my
punch.
I can let my anger out. on
I
that
could definitely
one.
punch her and she won't feel it. So,
Yeah.
so I could do that.
Anyway, but like, she literally did. She came up to me, and I think it was towards the end of the first year of secondary, and she just went, "You know, we're best friends, right?" And then that was it. She linked my arm, and we skipped off into the sunset.
Oh yeah, we were friends.
that was
was
pretty
it.
much how it happened.
I mean, you're going to be my friend.
yeah,
You
I
two-
didn't have a choice in the matter. Basically,
You two are very like SpongeBob and Patrick.
I am Patrick.
Oh, for
Star
sure.
Down.
That's like you two.
Thing is, we used to always get in trouble together.
We did.
They brought us into school one day and they were trying to like tell our parents basically not to be friends with each other. Like they were trying
Yeah,
to
they
they were
tried
trying
to
to
break
explain
us
that
apart.
I was a bad influence to her.
I mean, work.
And
Yeah.
like we were like always double trouble.
I mean, work.
we got
Yeah.
in we were so fucking stupid that one day we went into a classroom because we were always just trying to find something to
yeah.
laugh at. So we went into a classroom once and there was this like it was some sort of like bacteria that they made and it turned into like a jelly.
Oh my God, I know what you're on
or
about.
something, and they put it on like a table, and it was like
A
waiting
circle thing.
waiting for the lesson. Yeah, it was in like a petri dish.
Yeah.
and it was waiting for a lesson, and we're there going, "Should we do it? Should we do it?" We're looking at each other. She's like, "You do it, you do it." So I go in there because I don't care, and I went in there and got this scalpel knife and started chopping it up. And I went, "Yeah,
it was
fuck it."
agar jelly.
Yeah,
That was what-
agar jelly, and I'm going, "Yeah, fuck it."
And we're just sitting there going,
Yeah, I'm going, and I'm there flicking this jelly around.
Yeah, like, for no
and then she goes,
reason.
"That was really funny," and I go, "Yeah." And then 2 days later, we get an after-school detention because we've disrupted a whole class.
It was
'Cause
a-
this
no, it
teacher
was an
started a
exam.
class, and it was an exam.
It was an exam
and she's seen her
that they
jelly,
needed it for.
bless her, mashed up by this fag.
But we were just like, we just got in trouble for so much.
And
No, we weren't
we were always
actually-
together.
We weren't always really badly in trouble.
If we're like really naughty, instead of like kicking us out the classroom, they'd be like, "You can have a 5-minute fag break. Come back in a minute when you're less stressed."
Really?
My
Love
teachers
that.
used to be
oh,
like,
babe, that would have been
"Go
would've
for
solved a lot
it.
of
Go for
problems. Yeah,
a
that would solve a lot
cigarette
of
break,
problems.
babe." Because we were that naughty, they had to. Because it was like we used to try and run out the school.
God.
Yeah, but there was a lot of naughty kids, and it was all girls. It was kind of like all my friendship group. There was me, and then them. It got to the point that none of us we refused to do PE to the point where they physically couldn't do anything about it. So they used to put us into this dance studio, and we used to have to do written work. And it was to the point that we wouldn't even do that. And this woman, I can't remember her name, one of our teachers was like, "Reese, why don't you just do a dance class and they'll do it?" And then they were like, "Yeah, Reese, do it. So the next week we've all brought our PE kit in Drag Race history the first time. We've all brought our PE kit and we've all done this dance lesson to Nicki Minaj Whip It.
You
Fierce.
better work.
And like I've taught this like routine in my class, like with like 20 girls. You best believe the head teacher thought this is the best thing the school's ever had in
that's pussy.
like decades. So like that was then the new thing. The teacher used to monitor me teaching this dance class in my school in year 11.
Oh, that's so cool.
So that I used to do that. That was our PE class. I used to teach it. They used to learn it.
Well, that's camp.
That was
Babe,
calm.
I wish.
That
I
was like
wish.
that was the
I
funnest
hate
thing I
PE.
ever did at school. And they used to like let me do this, and that was like my dream to teach. And I've always like, even now I do that. Like I kind of
Yeah,
take
literally.
charge. So like that was like where it came from. I used to love doing that. They like wanted to give me my own end of year dance show. But like, me and the PE kids could like do it in front of people.
Fierce.
It was like really camp to the point where we did that. But that's the only thing I really liked from school was doing that.
PE was hell.
Yeah.
PE was
I
hell.
hated PE with such a passion. And obviously it's a requirement or law, whatever, that kids have to get a certain amount of exercise in school, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But it was just the one thing I dreaded every time. I did not fit in like with that. I did not
No.
fit in with that. And I would
The
always...
boys' changing rooms.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
I
I
love
would
the
always,
smell.
I quiet. I would not talk to anyone. I would always pair up with like the other random weirdo who stood at the back of the line when
Yeah.
we lined up.
The one that doesn't never said a word.
Yeah, the one he did this. The one I paired up with all the time and depended on did not speak. He did not.
It was
say
very.
a word.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like
It's
one of
very
them, like an outcast.
Very
like, and but you were lucky. You had two gays.
I had two
well,
gays in my
well,
class.
you had one gay and one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we used to, like, I used to group
Gayish.
together.
Yeah.
There was actually one story I remember I was fuming at DD once. because it was like the end of the year thing, and they all did like this like music video thing for like this end of the year in every form, because that's what we'd have. We'd have
Right.
form groups, and we were in the same form group together.
Yeah.
So we do that, and I can't remember why I was in so much trouble this year, but I did something bad, and I was in a
No,
lot
you
of
didn't. It
What
was,
did I do?
think it was genuinely like you were given an isolation for probably something like makeup, and you refused to go.
I think it was a
And
thing
you
that
didn't go, so they had
escalated.
to force you into an isolation.
Yeah, I think it was a thing like that, and I
She just
didn't
refused.
attend to anything, and they forced me into an isolation.
Yeah.
And then that one I walked out of, and I remember like sitting in a room with the head of year, and she literally watched me for an hour, and she was like, "My punishment to you," because we basically this music video thing we all did.
Yeah, the end of our school, like the end
Yeah,
of the school.
we had a song. We'd all like it was like
Run.
kind of like low key choreographed. Like it was like a thing. Some people would have their moment if to wish to, and I really wanted my moment because I was known as the death dropping kid.
Right.
Yeah,
I would
she was
walk
always
around
death dropping
school.
all over
I'd go
school.
right, get out your phone. You've never seen anything like this before, and I'd go bam, shablam,
Yeah.
and everyone would gag because it was like that
Yeah.
was the thing at the time. I was like, maybe watching Drag Race, and I was like, oh babe, I can do it, and I used to show off that I could do a death drop, and this one time I was ready to do it, and we had this whole thing planned, and I was like, everyone's gonna part,
Yeah, of course.
all the form is gonna part, and then I'm gonna walk into the middle, and I'm gonna jump in the end, do
It'll
the
be
biggest death drop they've
Yeah.
ever seen.
Work.
And then this punishment took so long that she got to a point she went, you're not going to be part of the music video. You're going to be taken out of it. She was like, you've not listened to anything. You've not turned up to any of these isolations. This is your punishment. And I was fuming. I was like, well, I can't believe you've done this to me. This was my moment. And I was fuming. I had to sit there in this isolation while they filmed. And I'm going, right. And I watch it back. And we're in assembly. And I've come out of it. And this is the 2 weeks later. And we're all in assembly. And we're watching it back. I sit there with the form group, sit next to her, watching it. Who goes out and does the death drop? This bitch. She walks out, she jumps in the air,
walks
she
out.
lands straight on her back, and I go, yeah, it was not fair.
Oh no, it
And I
was.
was fuming.
No, actually, that, you do tell a lie because that is not how you reacted. I told you that obviously I did it, and you were like, "Oh, okay." I think you're just like whatever by that point. And when it happened, and you were very sisterly, you did stand. You were the first one to stand up out your chair. Wag your finger. And
Did
start
I?
flicking. Yeah, you were like.
Okay.
You were living. You did not like. You.
Oh,
Didn't
well,
sit-
inside I
you're
wasn't.
Not that. You're not that.
It was
much-
kind of like a, yeah, that was fierce.
Yeah, but like you chose the higher route. But like obviously, like if she ain't gonna do it, I'm gonna do it.
But I do
Yeah.
remember being heartbroken.
Of course.
Like that was
Yeah.
like they finally got the
Yeah,
punishment
they
that
finally
affected
did it.
me. They finally got my nerve, and I went,
Oh, well.
fuck that, because I wasn't in that music video, and that could have been my moment.
From the ashes rise.
She could have won the crown then, honey.
But it was this bitch that got it.
Did you have prom?
I went in full glam.
Wow.
Yeah, she went
Yeah,
full
I went in full glam.
heels.
Platform heels, fur coat,
Yeah.
and glitter
Wow.
trousers.
I love
you?
that. Yeah, I had a girlfriend for prom.
Really?
I had a hot date, honey.
Ah.
Crazy.
My prom picture's me kissing her.
Ooh.
It looks like me. Like, it's like a blonde doll.
Yeah,
and then
that's
me.
why you're kissing her.
You're
You're
the girl.
kissing yourself.
I now became her. bless her.
Fierce. I did because I was like, really getting into makeup there, and I remember doing prom, and I was like, this is my moment.
Yeah.
And I remember like having my planned outfit. I got like a full fur coat. I got my first pair of heels that I ever bought, and I wore them to
Work.
prom.
Work.
And I done my full B, and
Work.
but I was doing girls' makeup for the prom, so I had like 3 girls in that paid like
Oh my
what
God.
30 quid to do their makeup for prom.
Yeah, you
So they
did.
came in one by one, done their face, then last done mine, and then went to prom, and then we went together, didn't we?
Yeah.
And I remember it was a
Did you
very
get like a limo?
Jamie the musical. We just turned up, and I walked out the car, and everyone gagged because I was in platform
Yeah.
heels and a fur coat and fully beat. And they've never seen me like fully beat. They always know me as like dabbled in makeup because I wore highlighters, I said.
Work.
But I came in there with lashes on, everything, and we were like having dance offs in the prom.
Oh, I've seen that.
Strange.
I've seen that.
Fighting in the dark.
It was very fighting in the quarter quell.
Like literally the whole room separated in a circle. Me and her are just not even on beat, dropping like flies, like
Oh, we
death
were, like,
drop,
doing all the
split,
tricks.
bang bang, and all that. But the thing is, I remember I wasn't quite ready to express myself then.
Yeah.
Because I would do a bit, and then
Walk back.
yeah, and then walk back. And then walk back, and people would be like, "No, go
We
out
have
and do
to
it."
try and
And
find
I
a
would be
video
like,
of
"No,
this.
no, 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 no. I've done it. Like I've that's as much as I can manage. One split, and I've got to get back
That
up
was-
and go straight back. But
That's
she was
scary
go-
for me.
It was wild.
Yeah, she
It was
would go.
wild.
I wasn't that gay.
I remember
ever.
like that was my last straw though. It was like I was like trying to do what I could, but also abide by some of the rules.
Yeah.
My whole school like years, and then this was like the last moment we're ever going to be in school, and I was like, fuck it, I'm basically going in drag.
Yeah.
And I did. And
Well,
then
yeah,
and
yeah.
but the thing is, what was great about it is that we actually like we fully were ourselves. We went out and danced, and we were like, everyone was around us chanting,
Yeah.
and even all the boys that were like had something to say, they even were living, because I was like, babe, I'm the
Anyone
one.
who ever picked.
Like, you've always
Yeah.
picked on me, but look at everyone clapping around me.
Yeah.
But I also think, just because you don't know who's watching,
Yeah.
like, you never know. But I think it's important. School is there for a reason. The only
Yeah.
reason I found it really important is it, especially as a queer kid, it puts you through hell to thicken your skin.
Yeah.
So that when you come out the other end, the big world isn't as big as it could have been.
No, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So you're able to deal with these things, you know. So if you are being bullied, if you are under stress at school,
Yeah.
don't worry. School will end one day, and
It's
you've got a
temporary.
world out there to go and live your life.
Literally,
and
school-
you don't have to be a mathematician. You don't
Yeah.
have to be this. You don't have to be that.
No.
Look what I did.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Look what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've come from school and we've built an empire
Yeah.
of our own and built a career. So
100%.
it's not the be all and end all, but
No.
get through it.
Be
It's
yourself.
horrible.
Oh my god,
Be
Yeah,
yourself.
be yourself. Use school.
Yeah.
Use school to, like as you said, toughen your skin. Put yourself out there. Be your most authentic self. You get bullied, who cares? Because where are these people going to be in
Yeah.
your
Yeah,
life?
but also-
after it's all done, nowhere.
Like, after 6 years of hell, you get to be who you want to be.
Yeah.
Don't.
And that's it.
You
And
just
you've got your
can't-
own rules.
Yeah.
You can't let it knock your
Yeah.
confidence. Don't let it chew you up and spit you back out as the fiercest,
Yeah.
toughest thing that anyone's ever seen.
Yeah.
You know.
And you're going to
Stick
be the
to
one
it.
laughing at
Don't
the
let
end
it
of the
dim
day.
Yeah,
your
exactly.
sparkle, honey.
Yeah, don't let anyone dim your sparkle.
Exactly.
Because trust and believe they're going to be gagged when you've actually come out the other end, and they're
Yeah.
going to go, well, fuck me, I didn't win in the end. Right, I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready for the group chat.
Let's get.
I think
some
it's time for the group
lightheartedness.
chat.
I think
Yeah.
it's time for the group
I
chat.
think it's time.
Let's bring it back to basics. What are the what's the audience got to
I was going
say?
to say, okay, let's
So they
read it
want
out.
some advice from the girls.
This anonymous message, I'm just going to read it. Hey angels, I've got a friend who owes me some money and I'm not sure how to approach her about paying me back. It's been over a month now and I really need this money, but I feel bad about asking her about it and don't want to upset her. Any advice about asking her for it would be appreciated.
Oh, that's a
Okay.
good, that's a really
That's a
good
good
one.
one.
That's fair.
Someone
That's a
owes you
really
some
good
coins,
one.
some cointadas.
I mean, I'm gonna start off and saying like
Yeah.
we all do this.
Yeah.
Like, do you know, it don't matter how much money you have, how little money you have. I think it's always just fair to pay your debts.
Yeah.
Pay what's due. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? If you bought Mackey's and she owes you money for it, ask her.
Yeah.
We do the same. If we buy food,
Yeah.
we'd be like, should we split it? Like, we'll split it. You buy the next one. We'll you know,
Yeah.
we'll be fair. Like, it's always fair.
I
It doesn't
think-
matter.
And
It's a hard one though, because it's if the person who's asked this is in a financial stable to still be able to pay their life, and then maybe their friend isn't, it's hard to then ask for the money back.
Right.
And maybe that's what she's struggling with.
yeah.
But all you have to then do, in my eyes, is give a slight nudge.
Yeah.
Be like, hi, if it's a bit of money, you just have to be like, hi, honey, I'm going to start needing that money back. I've got to pay my rent or my bills.
Yeah.
Can you pay me back even in installments if you can't pay
Yeah.
the big chunk of money back?
Klarna, honey.
Well, Klarna it, yeah.
Yeah.
But like, that's what I would personally do. If I knew you owed me £100, I'd be like, can you send me £20 here and there
Yeah.
if you can?
Yeah.
I know you haven't got the money right now, but if you can do it by bit, great.
Yeah, you just got. It depends on their situation.
Yeah.
If you're seeing them going out buying lovely dinners, going to places,
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
that's when you've got to put your foot down and be like, "Hi, you are my friend, but
You owe me
the
money."
principle is you owe
Yeah.
me money, and I'm seeing you do all this stuff.
Yeah.
that obviously costs money.
Yeah.
Obviously
Yeah,
not to
that's
give them a
true.
way out if they're not doing all that. Just invite an open conversation. Be like, "Hi,
Yeah.
it's okay if you're struggling at the minute and you don't have the assets
Yeah.
to give back to me, but at least just keep me in the know. Like, don't be
Yeah.
ashamed to
Yeah.
come to me as a friend to go, hi, really
Yeah.
struggling at the minute, but yeah, as you said, it would be appreciated if you
Yeah.
could just do it in bits.
But you also
lighten it a bit.
You also have to, like, if you don't ask for the money back,
Yeah.
they're gonna wait until you,
You
ask
won't.
for it
Yeah,
back.
they're gonna wait.
Yeah.
Don't become someone who like gives out money or gives out loans, whatever,
Yeah.
and doesn't do anything about it to get it
Yeah.
back, because you will just get walked over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can agree. Some people will, like, if you're gonna ask for money back, they'll make you feel bad. Like,
Yeah.
some people will, but like
Yeah.
at the end of the day,
It's your
they
money.
they borrowed the money and it's your money
Yeah.
that's owed. So you can
their
approach
fault.
them really nicely and be like, look, I do need this money, as you said, for this rent or whatever. Like, when will I get it back? Just
Yeah.
ask that. Be like, do you know when?
Yeah.
Like, maybe, just so I know. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be right now.
No, money's a hard thing.
It
money's
is, yeah.
money's a
It's a
really
touchy subject.
touchy subject because it is I mean, people hate to say money makes the world go round, but money fucking
Yeah,
makes
it
the world
does.
does go round. And it is a very hard subject, and it's very hard, especially if someone's struggling with money, to ask for it back. But you have
sure.
to have a backbone, and if it's your money and you want it back, then you need to ask for it back.
You do.
This is where I draw the line. Oh, it might be a bit bad. You
on.
can't ask for money 2 years later. Or like a year later. Like, oh, do you remember that £100 you gave me a year ago?
Yeah,
See,
I would
I'm
say.
a
I would
bit
say
like,
if
that's
you
a
are.
bit cheeky.
I would say if you are owed it, get on it quick. Because
Yeah.
the more you leave it, I think it becomes like, oh, well,
Well, because then it looks like you've used that,
Yeah.
like, as like a way to get a bit of money back when you need it the most. Because
Yeah.
you clearly didn't need it that bad.
Yeah.
When it initially happened.
Yeah.
But that's when it should be paid back
Yeah.
as the initial. Yeah, you can't.
In like a
What-
month.
Yeah, no, sorry. Once it's like
Once it's
done
hit
and
like a
dusted,
year.
No, sorry. You let that.
Like if you
happen.
brought me
let that
if you
slide.
brought me a chocolate cake and then
Yeah.
was like never really spoke about it, and a year later you was like, oh, actually you owe me that £9.
yeah,
I'd
that
be
would
like,
be
jog
like
on,
weird.
like-
Yeah,
I would bake a chocolate cake and throw it in your face.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like-
for sure. Okay, so let's do girl of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking girl of the week. I mean, personally, I think it's the person that ended up feeling my fist. Like, if I'm honest, if I am honest, like, you can be girl of the week. I'll give you something. But like, at the end of the day, what are you doing?
So we're giving girl of the week to all
the
haters.
haters.
All the
that
haters,
gave
babe.
us absolute grief.
All them bullies that thought we could never,
Yeah.
thought we were bottom of the barrel, babe. I'm here dressed as a woman, making a career and a fortune. So,
Thank
you
you
can
for
never.
helping us.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for making our life live in hell and making us fight for what we wanted.
Thank
Well,
you.
that's-
Yeah, thank you for making me want it harder.
You're now
That's-
the girl of the week, honey.
that's-
So you
that's-
got something back.
That's what a
Ow.
hater's purpose is to, make you tougher and make you strive for
What
the things
doesn't
you
That's
kill
it, babe.
you makes you stronger.
Remember
girl.
that, DD?
want. Sorry, guys, I'm out of steam. It's been a long day.
Thank you for
All
watching
right.
this episode of The Girls. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment, follow Dee Dee. She really needs to get
Do it all,
you,
babe.
You need it.
And,
Message Dee Dee, send us some love, tell her her wig looks really nice.
We love
And then
you.
we'll see you in the next episode.
We have been
The Girls! We'll see you very soon. And remember, we want to hear your listeners' questions. So go to @thegirlspod on Instagram and go to the highlights because you can write your anonymous messages. We love to read them out. We're excited for next week. You could be read by the girls. See you next Sunday.
Love you.
Oh, my social
Mwah.
battery.
Abamakis, babe. Let's go.
I need to go to bed.
Let's get some selects.